June 16th, 2026, Kansas City. A 38-year-old man walks out of the tunnel, captain's armband on his left bicep, the weight of a continent on his shoulders. He has done everything the game can ask of a human being. Won everything. Broken everything. And yet here he is again. A record 6th World Cup. No man has ever played in 6. No captain has ever won 2 in a row. One last dance. On the soil of the country he now calls home. But to understand what these final games mean, to understand what they cost, you have to go back. Back to a small boy in Rosario. A boy who was told he would never grow. Part 1. The boy who was too small. Rosario, Argentina. June 24th, 1987. A working-class neighborhood, a football-mad family, and a baby boy named Lionel Andres Messi. From the moment he could walk, he had a ball at his feet. His grandmother dragged him to a local club when he was barely out of toddlerhood. The coach said he was too small. She insisted. He played. He scored. By 6, he was scoring goals nobody had ever seen a child score. By 9, scouts whispered about a tiny boy at Newell's Old Boys who could do things with a football that defied physics. And then, at age 10, the doctors gave his parents a word that almost ended the story before it began. Growth hormone deficiency. His body wasn't producing what it needed to grow. At 13 years old, Lionel Messi stood 4 feet 6 inches tall. The treatment was nightly injections into his legs. He gave them to himself. He was a child. He never complained. But the injections were expensive. Hundreds of dollars a month. His family, his father a steel worker, his mother a cleaner, could not keep up. They went to Argentine clubs. River Plate watched him. Everyone watched him. Nobody would pay for his treatment. The greatest footballer who ever lived was about to be lost. Not to talent, to biology, to money. Part 2. The Napkin. The year 2000. A Barcelona scout, working a contact in Argentina, made a phone call. The club agreed to a trial. 13-year-old Messi flew to Spain with his father. The man watching was Carles Charlie Rexach, Barcelona's technical director. He arrived late to the trial. He didn't need long. Within minutes, Rexach had seen everything he needed to see. The problem? Barcelona had a policy. They didn't sign foreign children. They certainly didn't pay for their medical care. So Rexach took Messi's father to lunch at the Pompeia Tennis Club. He had to act before the boy flew home. He grabbed the only thing on the table, a paper napkin, and on it he wrote a contract. Barcelona would sign Lionel Messi. Barcelona would pay for his hormone treatment. That napkin would later sell at auction for nearly $1 million. The Messi family packed up their life in Rosario and moved to a foreign country, a foreign language, a foreign world. Lionel was 13. He joined La Masia, Barcelona's legendary academy. He missed home. He was shy. He barely spoke. And then he stepped on a pitch, and the world stopped arguing about whether he belonged. Part 3. The greatest of all time. October 16th, 2004. 17 years old. Lionel Messi made his official debut for Barcelona's first team. The treatment had worked. He was now 5'7", and he was about to take the planet apart. May 2005. A chip over the goalkeeper, set up by Ronaldinho. His first senior goal. The teenager who couldn't grow had arrived. What followed was, simply, the greatest career any club footballer has ever had. Not arguably, statistically. 17 seasons in the Barcelona first team, roughly 34 trophies, around 10 La Liga titles, 7 Copa del Reys, 4 UEFA Champions Leagues, the the summit of the European game 4 times over, the Pep Guardiola years, the tiki-taka revolution. A team that didn't just win, it rewrote what football could look like, with Messi as its conductor. Then the MSN years. Messi, Suarez, Neymar. The most lethal front three in the history of the sport. And 8 Ballon d'Or awards. The most ever won by any player. A record that may never be touched. For a generation, the argument wasn't whether Lionel Messi was the best player in the world. The argument was whether he was the best player who had ever lived. And yet, there was a wound, and it would not close. Part 4. The Wound. In Argentina, there is one number that matters. 1. The number of World Cups Diego Maradona dragged his country to in 1986. The bar against which every Argentine boy is measured for the rest of his life. And no matter what Messi did for Barcelona, the question followed him like a shadow. Can he do it for his country? 2014. The World Cup final in Brazil. Germany. Extra time. Mario Götze. A goal that broke Argentine hearts. And then the image that defined the era. Messi, named the tournament's best player, walking past the World Cup trophy. Not allowed to touch it. 2015. Copa America final. Defeat on penalties to Chile. 2016. Copa America final. Defeat on penalties to Chile. Again. 3 consecutive major finals with Argentina. 3 defeats. And in the 2016 final, Messi, the greatest of his generation, stepped up for a penalty. And missed. Afterwards, in the tunnel, he wept. And then he said the words that broke a country. The national team is over for me. He was retiring from Argentina. He was 29 years old. The country panicked. Murals went up overnight. Children wrote letters. The president of Argentina called him. Maradona himself begged him to come back. He came back. But the curse stayed. And the critics kept sharpening the same knife. He cannot do it. Not for Argentina. Not the way Diego did. Part 5. The Turn. 2021. Brazil. A different Messi. Older. Bearded. Quieter. Leading a young Argentina team that believed in him the way the boy in Rosario once believed in himself. The final. The Maracanã. The cathedral of Brazilian football. Argentina against Brazil. Angel Di Maria chips the goalkeeper. 1-0. And it holds. On July 10th, 2021, Lionel Messi lifted his first major trophy with Argentina. His teammates lifted him into the sky. And he wept again, but this time for joy. The dam had broken. The wound had begun to close. And then, weeks later, the unthinkable. Barcelona, drowning in debt, could not register their greatest player under La Liga's financial rules. After 21 years, Lionel Messi walked into a press conference, sat down beside his family, and tried to speak. He couldn't. He sobbed into a tissue. He left the only club he had ever known and signed for Paris Saint-Germain. 2 Ligue 1 titles followed, but everyone, even him, knew Paris was a waiting room. 2022. Wembley. Argentina demolished Italy in the Finalissima, a second trophy in a year. The team was peaking. The man was peaking. And the world's biggest stage was 9 months away. Part 6. The Crown. November 2022. Qatar. Lionel Messi, at 35, walked into what he knew would be his last World Cup. The one piece of history he had spent his entire life chasing. And in the very first game, Saudi Arabia beat them. The dream looked dead before it started. But this Argentina did not break. They won, and won, and won again. Past Australia, past the Netherlands in a brawl of a quarter-final, past Croatia in the semis with a Messi assist for the ages. December 18th, 2022. The final. Argentina. France. Lionel Messi. Kylian Mbappe. The torch and the flame on the same pitch for the prize that defines the sport. Messi scores from the spot. 1-0. Di Maria makes it 2. Argentina are cruising. The crown is hours away. And then Mbappe. 2 goals in 97 seconds. 2-2. Extra time. Messi pokes home in extra time. 3-2. Surely now. Mbappe. Hat-trick. 3-3. Penalties. Gonzalo Montiel steps up. He scores. Argentina are world champions. And Lionel Messi, the boy who was too small, the man who was never enough for his country, lifts the only trophy he had ever truly been chasing. For many, in that moment, the debate ended. The greatest footballer who ever lived had finally completed football's last conquest. Part 7. America. The summer of 2023. Europe expected him to go back to Barcelona or to Saudi Arabia for a king's ransom. Instead, Lionel Messi shocked the sport. He signed for Inter Miami, Major League Soccer, the United States. He brought global football to a country that had never truly owned it. His debut, a free kick in the dying seconds, Miami in pink. A new chapter written in his very first touch. He led Inter Miami to the 2023 Leagues Cup, the club's first ever trophy, the 2024 Supporters' Shield, and in 2025, the MLS Cup itself. And in between, in the summer of 2024, on American soil, Messi led Argentina to a second consecutive Copa America. Even in his twilight, the trophies kept coming. The boy who was too small now stood above the entire sport. Part 8. One Last Dance. Which brings us back to 2026, to the country he now calls home, to one final World Cup. He is 38 years old. He turns 39 on June 24th, during the group stage. A 6th World Cup. No outfield player in the history of the men's game has ever played in 6. And he arrives, this time, as the defending champion. Captain of the holders. 26 World Cup appearances. The all-time record. 13 World Cup goals. And the only player ever to score in the group stage, the round of 16, the quarter-final, the semi-final, and the final. 3 more goals, and he passes Miroslav Klose as the all-time leading scorer in World Cup history. And no captain has ever lifted back-to-back World Cups. Not Pelé, not Beckenbauer, not Maradona, nobody. A late hamstring scare at Inter Miami briefly froze a nation. But he is in the squad, he is fit, he is ready. Group J. Algeria, Austria, Jordan. June 16th, Kansas City. The road begins. This is, almost certainly, his final World Cup. The last time the number 10 on his back will mean what it has meant for 20 years. Somewhere, a boy in Rosario is watching, small for his age, football obsessed, wondering if he is big enough for the dream. And the man on his television, the man who was once that boy, who took the injections in his own thigh, who signed his first contract on a paper napkin, who was told he could never do it for his country, that man is about to dance one last time. One last dance. For the boy in Rosario. For the napkin. For Maradona.
For every Argentine who ever doubted him, and every Argentine who never did. He has nothing left to prove, and everything left to give.
If this story stayed with you, subscribe to Beyond the Boots for more. The boots tell the story. We just follow the footsteps.